Let's jump in. We have 111 people watching now. Love you guys so much. So this is a great start. Let's jump into these 5 things that high value women always do. Chelsea, what's the first one?
Yes. So number 1, she trusts. This high value woman trusts in her vision of the love that she gets to have. And so there's this underlying faith and certainty of her vision that allows her to stay in that really magnetic space while she's dating and getting to know guys. And so she also believes that there's an abundance of good men out there. So she doesn't have these limiting beliefs contradicting what she wants to have. She's able to stay in that leaned back energy because she has such a deep faith in what she gets to have.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so important. And thank you, Kathy. Thank you for everyone who took our Magnetic Mastery course. We love to hear. We always love hearing. We love hearing about all the amazing results you guys are getting. Oh my gosh, it just warms my heart so much. Yeah, it's so important to really trust that what you believe is possible and that you're worthy of that. Because if you don't trust that, you're going to tend to settle for less than what you truly want and deserve, especially when your feelings get involved, right? We're going to talk a little more in depth as we go along with these 5 different things. If you guys have questions, let us know in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can at the end. And I think that is so important. This one is a little more obvious. Some of these are much more subtle. So we're going to get into the rest of these. Is there anything else you want to say about this one, Chelsea?
Just that, I've been getting this question a lot of like, how do I stay unattached while I'm dating? Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, well, it's pretty impossible to stay unattached to the guy that you're interested in if you don't have a really strong hold on what you get to have, And so, I think the last thing I want to say on that is building faith is like building muscle. It takes time to create that unwavering faith. And so 2 things I want to give you guys really quick on how to do that would be every single day, visualize, the love that you want. Feel the emotions of having it. That starts to prime you and prepare you for being able to actually have it. And so that just makes it feel more normal and feel more real every single time you do the visualization of like having your man. What does it feel like to be with him? Pull those emotions into the present moment. And then the second thing that, to do on a daily basis is just looking for evidence that you get to have what you want. You see a woman who has it. Awesome. There's no difference between me having it and her having it. That's another piece of evidence to grow that and build that faith in the vision that I get to have. Every time you see a high quality man, like boom, evidence there's amazing men in this world available for me.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah. Great comment here from Beth. I love it so much. Yeah. It's so interesting. If your desire feels like the most familiar thing in the world to you, it's about to come right in. I mean, literally, it's the next logical step in your life. If it just feels like the most familiar thing in the world, it's about to show up. If it doesn't feel that way, you have some work to do, and that's okay. You're just not quite ready for it yet. And so we'd love to hear from you guys in the live chat, or if you're watching the replay, you tell us how close or far away are you from this dream relationship? If it feels like so impossible, so far off in the distance, you just have some work to get your vibration up to that place, right? Not by leaning forward and going out and trying to make something work with a guy, but by this other feminine energy way, right? Leaning back and attracting it to you by everything else that we're doing. I think that's really important. I love what you said. Look for evidence that it exists. If you seeing someone else in having success in their love life, if that's triggering to you, there might be a wound or some work there. But if you're like, I'm so happy, like that's amazing, and I'm next, like it's right around the corner for me, then I think that's really such a good thing. I mean, kind of like famously in our Magnetic Mastery, I believe it was level 2, we did a class together on November 10th, and people asked me to do this right along with them. And I said, you know what, I would love to get engaged to Tom. Do you remember this? I'm sure you remember this.
Crazy. So crazy.
And story. He proposed, whoever was there, I know a lot of you guys were there. You could let us know in the comments. He proposed the next day, right? And I obviously had no idea, but enough momentum had gathered to where that just felt like such a done deal. I wasn't worried about it. I wasn't thinking about it. I knew it was coming just on some level. I could just feel it. And it just came right in. Similar to, when I joined 1 year ago today, Tom and I connected virtually for the first time online 24 hours after me joining the site. So when you get good at this, you can just want something and have it happen within a day or a few hours. It doesn't have to take a long time. That's why I love this work so much. This is amazing. So let's move on to the next one, unless there's anything you want to say about this one.
Really quick, just with all of that, just remembering you guys that you 100% are in control of bringing that closer to you or keeping it at an arm distance length. And just by practicing the identity and the energy or the emotion of having it already is what collapses that time and space. So just that final point, I wanted to hone in that you guys can like bring it to you right now by just embodying that emotion consistently.
Yeah. We have some questions about it. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's the inner work and some very specific outer actions you can take too. We're going to be talking about that a little later in this video. So yeah, what's the next
Number
thing?
two.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So a high value woman pays attention to and like really believes in not just what a man is telling her, but what he shows her through his actions. And so, yeah, it's like so easy just to fall into really getting like swept off your feet by the words that a man is saying. But a high value woman really knows that the words are only part of the equation. Like she is really paying attention to like how a man is consistently showing up for her and consistently how he's making her feel. So that's a really high value woman practice. That is
so important.
Self-discipline to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difficulty is when you take your focus off of yourself and your own heart's desires and how you're truly feeling, and you just focus on the man and what do I need to do to get this guy? How do I make all this work? You cut yourself off from your intuition, which is part of your feminine energy, in my experience and opinion. So you just focus on him, and you kind of, I call this trading away little pieces of yourself, where deep down you kind of know that this guy is not really doing the job. I mean, there's all different kinds of situations, right? But you want to watch his actions. And then I would like to add the other side of this is sometimes a guy, all the actions are there, but he'll be flat out telling you that he's not ready for a real relationship. He's not available. He's newly divorced. He's just out of another relationship. So you want to believe the words and the actions. Ideally, they're going to match up. But if there's like some dissonance there, go like really tune in. Like, is this man showing you and telling you with his words and actions that he is serious about you and ready to move things forward, and not getting invested until you see those two things, right?
Oh my gosh, you said it so perfectly. And I love, yes, 100%. And I love that you brought in intuition, because I really feel like that is something that a high value woman has practiced and honed in on, is the ability to trust her intuition, the ability to hear it, but also trust herself and not do the second guessing stuff, tolerating a guy that's like, I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead on that one, but tolerating a guy that's not matching his words and his actions. So I love that.
Yeah. We've all been there, by the way. I do want to mention that, obviously we think that, and I think this goes without saying, but I'm just going to say it anyway. It's not that, I mean, I have certainly done the opposite of all of these high value things so many times. So I want you guys to learn from you too, right? Learn from our mistakes so you don't experience the heartbreak that we've gone through by not embodying these magnetic qualities. Everyone is valuable, obviously, as a woman and as a human being. You are inherently valuable, but these are the behaviors that high value women exude that actually do raise your perceived value in a man's eyes. It's just kind of human nature. So
self-value. It's like raising how you view yourself. And
yes, so important. Okay, this is so phenomenal, Chelsea. I'm loving this. What's the next secret?
So the next one, I'm just checking my notes here, is really, it's dovetailing off of that, which is stop engaging with men who aren't lining up to the vision of what you really want, right? So it's like you have, like the guys, words and actions aren't lining up, and it's really making that decision of, okay, I'm not going to tolerate, talking with a guy or being with a guy who's not meeting my standards and my vision. And I'm not going to like say yes to things that are not a hell yes in that way. And so, and that also is like, you're not going to try to make something work that is obviously not a fit,
So important. Yeah, I'm like refraining myself from putting all these comments on the screen. I know it can be distracting, but I just wanted to like really acknowledge you guys. Like, we'll get to your questions at the end too. It's so important for so many reasons. I did a whole video on this a while back called Avoid This Hidden Trap at All Costs if you don't want to get your heart broken. The danger of accepting crumbs and engaging with men on this lower level is, first of all, after a while, you start to believe that's all you deserve deep down. It kind of erodes away your self-esteem. the other thing that happens is you start to develop beliefs. Like that's what feels familiar to you now. So you start to develop these really devastating beliefs like, well, this is just how men are now. This is all there is. This is all that I can attract. And it's just simply not true. It's just what your brain is telling you to keep you stuck in this familiar kind of safe situation. Safe meaning there's no risk of real intimacy. So it's really important to stop engaging with men on this kind of like low value level where you're tolerating accepting crumbs, you're tolerating bad treatment or anything that doesn't feel good to you. You want to get out of there right away. Right, Chelsea?
I love that. And I love how it connects to the first thing little tip that I had given earlier around have the vision be so connected to what it feels like to be in the relationship you want, that the moment you're in a situation that is not that, you can leave quickly. So it's just, all of these steps are so connected. And so they kind of build on each other.
Yes, we're getting some great, I don't know if you can see these questions, Chelsea, we're getting some great ones in the chat about exactly how to do this. So we will get to those if we have time at the end for sure. And yeah, this one is so important. This is really, once you stop doing that, stop engaging with men on this level that you truly deep down know is not everything you want. What you want just flows right in, you know, you make yourself available to what's truly meant for you. I love, and I don't want to skip ahead, but it's so true. Are you ready to move on to the next one, or is there anything else you want to add?
I was just going to say real quick, it's raising your standards, right? And just knowing that anytime you raise your standards, like you just said, now you're going to be an energetic match for those standards. And it does take faith, right? It takes faith of like, yes, you can let go of the breadcrumbing because there's something way, way better for you, you know?
Yeah. So true. So true.
Raise the standards. That's really what, magnetic mastery and the magnetic mentorship circle is all about, is like that energy, elevating yourself to embody your standards so that that's all that comes into your space.
It's so true. And it's so easy for us to say like, well, just move on, just forget about him. And like, that sounds great. But it's like, if it were that easy, we would all just do that naturally. Like we've both been there. I've certainly been stuck on people who are just not stepping up, not doing the job. There's a connection, but he's just not fully doing everything that you truly want in a partner, right? They're just not able to on some level for whatever reason. So it's, oh gosh, there's so much I have to say about this, but when you heal yourself and do the work that we did, like in magnetic mastery, the inner child healing, raising your vibration, raising your standards, working from the outside into, not accepting those things, you're not going to feel attracted to that type of man anymore. That's the greatest thing. That emotional charge and that pull to be with someone who's just breadcrumbing you or pulling away, that behavior will start to turn you off and cause you to authentically get bored and lose interest, truly. So that's our hope for everyone. You might have to like fake it till you make it a little bit at first, but this will just become like second nature. I love seeing that. Getting bored with any man who's not available for what you want, right?
Yeah, totally. And it happens so effortlessly when you do the work that we're offering you guys, or that we're supporting you through in the magnetic mentorship circle. So we're so excited about that. Should I go to the next point?
Absolutely. Yeah. I just want to say hi to everyone, LaTanya, everybody. Like, this is resonating so much with everyone. And these are some great questions. I can't wait to get to these at the end too. So let's move on to the next thing that high value women always do.
Yes. So a high value woman always like expresses herself. She's not afraid to like feel her feelings and honor her feelings and also express them with a man. So she's not like lying to herself. This kind of goes back to the intuition, like really trusting your intuition. A high value woman feels her feelings and she honors them, and she doesn't feel afraid to express them to a man. So that's like needs, desires, boundaries, because again, she's not afraid of losing him by being her authentic self in that way.
It's so true. We did a whole live stream a few months ago on leaning back the right way, right? Versus the wrong way. And something you said has always stuck with me ever since, Chelsea. You said leaning back or feminine energy is not and will never be censoring your self-expression, right? Because there's nothing more magnetic than being your authentic self. So we see this all the time. Women are afraid to do anything. They're afraid to make any move or say something that they feel might, disrupt the status quo or displease a man, out of a fear that they'll lose him if they do that. And that just, it's like this magnetism you have, it just like kind of snuffs it out and builds this wall around you where what you want can't get in. So you want to be really comfortable expressing your needs, feelings, boundaries, desires. There's certainly a right and a wrong way to do it, but this is so important. So I love that, Chelsea.
Me too. And I will say this is something that I get the most questions on. It's one of those things I get so many questions from you guys on, and from clients and from, you know, our audiences. And so that's why we go really in depth in that also in the magnetic mentorship circle, is like, well, how do I respond in this way? And like, what words do I say? And, you know, and also just building that sense of self-trust again and confidence that you aren't saying the wrong thing and you're not pushing him away. And really like knowing that balance, it takes time to master that. Or it takes just awareness. Nothing has to take a long time, like we're all about, right? But that's definitely something that I hear is really challenging for a lot of women, is like what is the feminine energy versus not the feminine energy around words and communication and feelings and stuff. Because if you're coming from complaining, like it's such a fine tuning. If you're sharing something from this energy of like, you're incompetent, you're not taking good enough care of me, complaining energy, versus sharing something vulnerably with a man from a place of appreciation, it's like these kinds of distinctions make such a big difference in the results you get from a guy. Is like energy you come from. So I know I'm going down the rabbit hole, but that's
it's like night and day. And that's why we want to offer Magnetic Mentorship Circle as a way to actually work with you guys personally. Again, this is the only way to work with me personally right now. We committed to it for a year at least. After that, we don't know. So this might be actually the last time to be able to work with me personally. I love working personally with people and being able to offer this, because we want to tell you exactly what to say and work with your unique situation and actually feel your energy, be able to feel where you're coming from and where you can make some shifts, because it is so true. Just the tiniest shift in this right direction will change everything for you. It'll get you the biggest results, right?
Totally. And like being able to hear your voice and just the inflection in your voice, like all of those things just give us so much more information to be able to help you with versus just comments, you know?
Yeah. And we will tell you exactly what to say too. We will, we will work with you personally and tell you exactly what to say. Exactly. But it's, like you said, where you're coming from is so important. Usually you have to like get a little more in depth, right? To figure that out.
Absolutely. And that's why it's like, we know that these things are not always easy to figure out on your own. And we've both went through it in so many different ways. And so we're just so excited to provide a space that is super accessible compared to like, I know my one-on-one and my higher level group offerings and stuff. And so we're just so excited to get to connect with you guys in a way that we think is going to be a super easy yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And for people in the chat, I see I've tried to work with you. Your class is always full. This one is still open, right? We will keep it open. Yes, I'm not doing private coaching anymore. It's on my website. You can go check it. This is still open. It's still open now. So just go ahead and join before it fills up. There's a very limited amount of people we can take, because like we said, we're working with you personally, and this will probably fill up. What's today? Thursday, maybe by the weekend. So if you're interested, join today. Don't delay, right? So because it's only 2 of us. There's only so many hours in the day. We can't take everybody. But if you want to join, I would join before it fills up. But this one's available.
This one's available, and we can go more into this maybe later in the video, but there is a gift that you get for joining within 24 hours. And so I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later in the video, but I wanted to remind you guys.
We'll talk about that at the end. If you do join in 24 hours, I'll just say it now. It's an ebook that I wrote that's not available on my website. It's not available anywhere else. So if you join today, you'll get that. You'll get the Magnetic Mastery courses we've done together. You'll get everything. I want to make it super clear. If you can sign up, it's still available. And yes, it'll fill up fast. We wish we could clone ourselves and take everybody, but we just can't. So if you're interested, definitely join today, because we'd hate for you to miss out on that.
Totally. Yeah. We're super excited. So we'll go to the next.
This is the most important one, right? Number 5?
Yes. Yeah. And this is that one where, again, like we know that this can be a little tricky. It's a little bit more advanced, but it's so important. And it answered a lot of questions for me when I understood this personally. And that is, a high value woman exudes this sense of warmth and appreciation and openness with men, but it's openness with these super high queenly standards and boundaries. So like when a woman is in the presence of a man, she's in this space of, and it's funny that I kind of mentioned appreciation before, kind of leading up to this without planning that. There's a warmth and an appreciation about a high value woman. She's not closed off. Her heart's not hardened. She's not like, all men suck, all men are low level, like, don't look at me. It's this integrated space of, she has such strong boundaries and such a high sense of self-worth that it's like she commands respect just through her energy, and is able to then be in that yummy feminine warmth and appreciative energy with a man. So it's like super alluring, but also like, hey, like, don't mess with me in this like queen way, if that makes sense, because your boundaries and standards are so high. You've done so much of this inner work that nothing like low level would ever even come into your space. Like no guy would dare do something that's going to make you feel bad. You know? Does that make
so
sense?
important? Yeah, I love how you put that. I've never heard anyone put it like that. The feeling I'm getting is, being so secure, trusting yourself so much on the inside, which is what allows you to be open and vulnerable and feminine and soft on the outside. So a guy can actually get close to you. I've talked about this in a lot of videos. The opposite would be just building walls around yourself because you don't trust yourself on the inside. You don't trust your own boundaries. You don't trust yourself to like not put yourself in situations where you're going to get hurt. So you build these walls around you. And that's where, a man might come on strong for a little while, but if he can't like get to who you are, if he can't connect with you emotionally, he's just going to back off, or you'll just attract men who are in it for the conquest. Right. So it's so important to, then those are the men who, after they sleep with you, after they get you, so to speak, they back off. That's why it's so important to trust yourself, be so strong and secure on the inside, and then soft and open on the outside. So what you want can actually come towards you, not just in love, but in all areas of your life, right?
So beautiful. I love how you said that. I don't think I've heard you say that before. So secure and strong on the inside, but soft on the outside. I'm
trying to think of a metaphor of it. Like the opposite would be like an ice cream cone with the hard shell on the outside. What's something where the hard shell is, or the hardness is on the inside, not hardness, but the security and strength, and the softness is on the outside.
Yeah,
right?
And it's that softness, it's the sweetness that pulls him in for sure. And and I just, that's something I've had to clear too, is just having limiting beliefs about men in general that I noticed would make me walk through life, even like once I'm in a healthy relationship, like with my husband, just noticing like assuming all men are low level and things like that. And we really want to work on those limiting beliefs and shift them to really recognizing that the majority of men are good, right? The majority of men, that's really going to help you guys, like with all these tips we've given you so far, be in that space of trusting and not getting attached to just one guy, because you're like, hey, there's a sea of loving, heart-centered men all around me. I have so many options. So again, that was one piece in here that I really wanted to emphasize that I personally really relate to, is a high value woman who has done that work to actually trust men and has a healthy relationship with men in general.
Yes. So important. Otherwise, you're going to attract men you can't trust. It's your love. Yeah. Your law of attraction is going to prove you right. Right. So what do you want to be proven right? Do you want to be proven right that high quality men are hard to find? Right. What are someone's asking for examples? There are no good men out there. All the good men are taken. It's really difficult to find a good
liars. Man. Like the liar thing is one you hear all the time, that men are liars.
Liars, cheaters, they're flaky. They don't want to commit. And those beliefs are often coming from past experiences. But I just did a post over on my community tab. It's you can just keep talking about that and attract it over and over again, or you can shift your energy and create something totally new. Right?
Absolutely. You guys love it. That's why we love this work. It's so like everything you need is inside of you. Nothing that you want is unobtainable. Gosh, I can't say that word today.
Love it. Love that. Yes, a peach. I love that, Nicole. Hart, so strong on the inside, soft on the outside. Right?
I love the
peach. Great men exist. My boyfriend is one of them. I mean, oh my gosh, there are so many great men out there. Everyone's resonating with this so much. I think somebody had a question. Where do we sign up? Okay, so Carol and everyone asking this. Close the live chat if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, just click the title of the video. I feel like I never explained this correctly. Click the arrow or the title right next to this video. I think it's on that side. It'll open up the live chat. It's the first link in there. I'll also add it to the comments. I just wasn't able to do that until after the replay posts. And if not, if you're having trouble, email us. And we'll find out. Yeah, just go to our websites. When I get married, I want to invite you guys. Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, I know. My wedding's in a couple of weeks. I wish I could have all of you there. We love hearing success stories. Oh my gosh, we just love it. So recap. Do we have anything to say about this one, or do you want to recap these 5 and then get into questions?
Yeah, let's recap. I'll be as concise as I can. So number 1 was she trusts in the vision of the love she gets to have and she believes that there's good men out there. So she has this unwavering faith in the vision, right? That's like number one. Everything else kind of falls under that too. But number two, she pays attention to both what a man says and what a man does. And she's like connected to her intuition in that way of really observing and receiving how this guy's making her feel. So she has that strong sense of security in herself in that way too. And number three, she stops engaging with men as soon as they start to not line up with what she wants, right? She quickly lets that go. She doesn't try to force something to work when it's obviously not meeting her standards. So number three is she doesn't settle, essentially.
Yeah.
Number four is she honors and feels her feelings, and she's not afraid to communicate them with the man. She's not afraid that he's gonna leave her if she's authentic in her feelings and her emotions, and expresses that. And then number five is she exudes this warmth and this appreciation and openness to men while also having these queenly standards and commands respect just from her energy. But she's like a peach, like we just said. She's soft and sweet on the outside and secure on the inside.
Yeah, so good. So good. So yeah, I think that's so important. I can visualize that woman in front of me. Like you guys can probably all feel the difference, right? Rather than feeling insecure or anxious because maybe what I want doesn't exist, right? You have to know it's possible and act according to that belief by not settling for less, right? And being really open and confident expressing yourself. And that's exactly what we're going to teach you how to do in the Magnetic Mentorship Circle. So make sure to sign up. So yes, okay, let's see. You guys are so sweet. Oh my gosh, Chelsea is so pretty. Yes, Chelsea's so gorgeous. Whenever she comes on, I'm like, wow, Chelsea's so gorgeous.
Thank you. I feel that way about Helena too.
So sweet. Do you want to take a couple questions?
Let's do it. I love answering questions. Okay.
I'm going to scroll all the way back to the top and let's see. Looking for the first question. Oh, we got a lot of comments in here. So great stuff. I can't wait to go back and read all of these. Okay, here's one from Rihanna. Trying to be understanding, but I'm feeling neglected with my boyfriend. I'm always the one initiating intimacy. How do I change this? I don't want him to feel like I'm going to go looking for it elsewhere. Any thoughts on this one, Chelsea?
Ooh, I love that you shared that last piece there, Rihanna, because I hear that all the time. Like, I'm afraid that if I take my focus off of trying to move this thing forward, I'm not really sure why we have that fear, but I've just heard this fear so much. So you're so not alone in that. But it's really the fear of abandonment, I think, underneath that if I stop being in the pursuer and the one kind of like trying to move this forward, then he's going to leave. And we really get to rewire our minds, remind ourselves over and over and over that it's literally the opposite. But the moment that, and Helena, I feel like you share this so often. I love how you describe this too. But when you put your energy on you and like take your focus from going outward on him and put it inward on you, or in other words, on other things in your life that make you happy, you will pull him towards you, like without a doubt. So just remember that the masculine energy doesn't have space to come towards you if you're taking up the space by coming towards him all the time.
So important. Yeah. I mean, so step one, just stop doing it. Just stop initiating, right? And go back to the fifth secret we shared here. Like, this is what I find often, Chelsea. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We tend to lean forward and want to like reach out to a guy or initiate something like this because we're trying to cover up our feelings. And it's like we're acting out of a feeling of, she said, feeling neglected. Maybe you're feeling lonely, feeling anxious, that things are, going downhill or getting disconnected. So rather than feeling what you're feeling and working with that and healing that and being able to express it, like we talked about in the fourth thing here, we just lean forward and like, okay, well, let me just initiate intimacy and maybe that'll reconnect it. It just usually doesn't happen. So just like Chelsea said, stop initiating, lean back deep into yourself. He's going to come back towards you. Then you can talk about it if you want. Then you can say that you've been feeling a little disconnected. It would feel great to have some quality time together, whatever it is that you're looking for here. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. I just saw someone in the comments signed up for the course. Amazing. We're so happy to have you. She said, I'm waiting for the email. Like you should get it in a few minutes. If there's any issue, my email is at the bottom of the page. It's info@chelsearoses.com.
Email us. Yeah. Chelsea, queen of over delivering. It's to her all that there's only like 2, maybe 3 coaches I refer clients to. Chelsea is one of them. So she will not let anyone slip through the cracks. she delivers so much value. She'll make sure you get everything you need. So don't worry about that. Okay. So let's see from Lindsay, that if he's not aligning words with actions, how do I walk away? Do I start ignoring him? Is there an action step to end it? He's always around, just not consistent enough or action oriented enough. Yeah. I mean, who hasn't been there, right? I think it depends on the situation. If you're just dating this man, there's no need to like have a conversation about it. If you're in a relationship, that's a different story. Chelsea, any initial thoughts here?
So the part that stands out to me is, do I start ignoring him? You know, this is again where I get that that's where we want to go, but it's a little bit more, there's a little bit more of a finesse there, because remember the ignoring energy, think about number 5 we gave you in the tips. That's really like that cold cut off energy. And it's different than putting your focus inward. It's different than having high standards, right? So you don't want to be cold and like try to play games and ignore him. You just want to bring your focus back on you, and then take some time. What for you, Lindsay, take some time to reflect on, how does this guy make me feel? Do I want to be with this guy, you know? Because you remember, like, you get to have exactly what you want. This is something actually that came through for you guys earlier as I was thinking about this, and I haven't said it yet. You know, I say this all the time, and it never gets old. I still need to hear it too, that if you have a desire for something, it's like the universe has a call and response. You wouldn't have a desire to feel a certain way in a relationship, to have a certain guy, if it didn't exist, if that guy and that kind of love didn't exist. And so just start. And I know the first time I heard that piece of advice was several years ago, and it was really hard for me to believe that I could have whatever I wanted. Practice it though. Practice believing that, because you get to feel exactly the way you want to feel. And either this guy can deliver that or he can't. And that's okay. You're not in charge of who it is, right? You don't have to obsess over who.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, I love that. You have a desire for something. In my mind, it's 99.99% done. If enough momentum has gathered, so the thought pops in your head, oh, I'd like a great relationship. It's already done, right? Your life experience has caused you to create it. But people hold themselves in that 0.01% forever because they believe it's not possible. They keep rehashing old experiences, developing beliefs that they can't have what they want. So we go into all of this, obviously, in Magnetic Mastery and Magnetic Mentorship Circle, but hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about this ignoring thing, weren't we, right before we started? Yeah, I mean, if you want to say something, just this, it doesn't feel like we're on the same page anymore. I'm going to be moving on. If you're in a relationship, something like that. Not to strategically try to make him step up, but because that's authentically how you feel. If you say something like that, you have to be willing to walk away and back it up with action, right?
Love it.
Okay. All right. Great question from Beth. Why do guys pursue if they aren't ready? Our feelings aren't being considered. Yeah, I mean, lots of reasons. Just because a man isn't ready for a full-on committed relationship doesn't mean that he doesn't crave being with a woman, that doesn't crave companionship, or, you know, if you guys are physical, right? So it's your job to make sure you don't get overly invested until a guy shows up with what you want. And the right guy is going to show up with what you want. He will, right? So, you don't want to overinvest in a situation until, I believe it was number 2 that we talked about. A man's words and actions match up, and he says, I'm ready for this, and I want that with you, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Anything you want to add there, or?
No, I think that, that was a great question. I think it was a great response, that like men, like, even if a guy knows that he never wants to be in a committed relationship, doesn't mean he doesn't want to have that feminine energy, because they crave it. Like masculine energy craves feminine energy, vice versa. So it's great. Good to know that. Stick to these high value tips, and that'll protect you.
Yeah. Okay. So Isabel says, how to deal when a man shows interest but doesn't ask questions about yourself. Any quick tips here, Chelsea, for this one?
You know, the quick answer without knowing any other details is like, keep your crown on, right? That's how, imagine that your crown is on. And if something's not feeling good, like, just be, not that you're closed off and you're going to just write this guy off right away, but just knowing that there's such an abundance of men that if something is not feeling good, you can kind of just be like, next. Like, oh, this guy's not really asking me stuff. I don't really like feeling like that. Okay, let me try a few other flavors of the plethora of ice cream in front of me, kind of thing. Like, so I love it.
Yeah, I mean, just because a guy shows up in your life, he didn't sign up to meet every single need of yours. That's what dating's for, right? To see if you're on the same page or not. And of course, it's always fine to express something if you're feeling confident, like in number 4 too, right? Okay, so Vanessa says, any tips on how to shift from mothering a man to being his girlfriend? I've been with my man over 20 years. We have a son together. I feel like his mom sometimes, oh my gosh, what a great question.
Oh my God, I have to catch myself on this, being married for 6 years now.
Yeah.
So
Any thoughts there? I mean, I would love to hear everything you have to say, Chelsea.
First thing coming up real quick is that's why I love that, I made that really clear on the page with Magnetic Mentorship Circle, that this space is really for women who are also in long-term relationships. Like, how do we keep that polarity? How do we keep that like sexiness alive, not slip into mothering, right? And so I personally feel like I've had to work on that a lot. And so number one, awareness. I know for me, when I'm in that mothering energy, I feel drained. Because the mothering energy is, yes, it's feminine, but it's also outward focused. It's like you're pouring energy out towards, you're like caring for, supporting, and those are kind of masculine energy traits.
I was just going to say that giving, nurturing, in my opinion, are masculine. Even mothering could be categorized as masculine if you're doing things and caretaking, right?
And the other mindset shift here is remembering that one of the sexiest things you can do with your guy is hold a really high vision of him. Like, remember, he's capable. Like, he lived however many years before meeting you as an adult. Like, he can do things, right? Like, he can handle whatever it is that you're wanting to mother him about. Take a step back. Notice when you're mothering, because you'll feel drained, number one. And then to rewire your mind in that moment, remind yourself of who he is and what he's capable of. And that what he really needs is for you to be in the true feminine energy, which is like, you got this, babe. Like, I'm so proud of you. And, I'm so excited for what you're doing in that area. Let me fix this. Let me help you with this. So unless he's requesting something from his masculine power, then you can show up and be like, oh, okay, I'll do
amazing.
This. So it's very refined. And that's why we go actually level 3 magnetic mastery, which we're recording live with you. We go really deep into that. I'm so excited because that's one thing we didn't really cover in levels 1 and 2 is like, okay, I'm in this relationship. How do I stay in my feminine once I get really comfortable and some of those patterns can start to slip back up?
Oh, it's so true. I mean, I've never had somebody have the patterns not come back. You get thrown back to your default, right? I totally understand that. So you just have to work, if you work with us, even if you don't, just constantly be reminded. I love what you said. See him as empowered, basically. I totally trust that you can figure this out on your own. And then again, following that up with action by not over functioning and trying to step in and fix everything. So important. It's difficult, right? It's a difficult thing. I love everything you said. Okay, how can you tell whether you feel something intuitively rather than engaging in wishful thinking? Ooh, great question. I feel like I finally met my man around March, but I'm not sure if it's true intuition. Lana, I believe you were in Magnetic Mastery with us, right?
Lana.
So I'm so happy to hear that. So, okay, Chelsea, I know you are so big on intuition and all this stuff. I think whatever you have to say is probably going to be better than what I have to say.
So number one, just as a basic thing, identify what true intuition feels like in your body. And that, practice it. When I say identify, practice it with things that don't matter a lot. That's how you can get good at, this is what a yes feels like. This is what a no feels like. Like if I lose something in the house, I'll try it. Like, this is how I really started to strengthen my intuition is I'll be like, I close my eyes and I'm like, where is it in this house? And I just try to receive the information. And sometimes I'll get a download of like, check in the closet, anyways. So silly things like that can help you practice. And then you can be like, oh, I was right. Or, oh, I was wrong. Okay. That's what a no feels like. That's what a yes feels like. So practice your intuition so you can get more familiar with it. Number one. But number two, when in doubt, like if there's any doubt, it seems like you're trying to force clarity before it naturally needs to be there. So one of the biggest pitfalls that I see happen so often is women either meet a guy on a date or they're dating a guy they really start to like and they start asking, is he the one? Is he the one? And it's fine to wonder that, but when it's time for you to know that information, you will know it. So don't try to force that clarity. And that goes back to one of the points we talked about, we keep referring to is let his words and his actions over time lead you to that clarity.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I just want to watch that back myself. Yeah. Like what are his words and actions telling you? Absolutely. Yeah. Is it wishful thinking would be you're just kind of making it up based on your feelings for him. But something Chelsea and I talked so much about, this is what we're going to work with you with, is hooking up your feelings like this attraction chemistry with a man's masculine action towards you. And I'm sure you're there. You worked with us before. I know you're like at such a good place. So yes, by the way, Chelsea is the most intuitive person ever. I've never shared this before. Chelsea, hope you're okay with me sharing this. But the very first time we met, I think it was like 2018 or 2019. Yeah. Chelsea said, I see you coming into union, having a union with someone in 2021, whether that be a marriage or something. And I was like, no way. There's just I just don't know how that would happen. And here we are, 2021. I'm getting married in a couple weeks. So she was right all along. I don't know how you picked up on that, but I've always stuck with me ever since. So funny. Okay, Kayla says, there's a guy I have a huge crush on at the gym. We always sneak glances at each other. I catch him looking. I heard I can be intimidating to approach. What should I do? Can a woman approach a man while staying in her feminine energy? I think is the question here.
Yeah. Well,
so too. Yeah.
Number one, thinking back to, remember the number 5 that we gave you, there's the energy you embody is either open or closed. So when you're in a space of being open, it's kind of like this warmth is exuding out of your heart. Like you can feel that your heart is open, your shoulders are back, like body language, open energy, warmth is going to be super magnetic. But also I think that you can approach a guy again, like all of this this is where it gets really refined and advanced. It's not so much what you do as it is the energy that it comes from.
So true.
And once you really practice this stuff for a while and you do those kind of you follow the rules of thumbs, like rule of thumbs, in general, you can start to dance in this place of like, okay, there aren't really rules. It's more feminine energy, masculine energy, and just making sure you're coming from feminine energy. So that's my
yeah. It's like you said, it's a state of mind. It's not a list of things you do, right? So if you are not attached to the outcome, ask yourself this question: what am I hoping will happen? If I don't get the response I'm really hoping for, am I going to be devastated and super embarrassed? I'm not going to want to go back to the gym, right? You're not attached to the outcome. You can do anything. You can do whatever you want. So our work in working with you personally is helping you get to that place where you are so sure that what you want is right around the corner. You can do anything, and who cares what happens? Now you're magnetic. Now you can do whatever you want, right?
Oh, I love that distinction right there. That was amazing.
Okay, so here's one. If he was great for a year, did all the right things, time goes by, and now they're not the same. The relationship is not as interesting and fulfilling. I think we'll be talking about this in level 3, right? You said if you're in a relationship and now maybe things are a little stagnant, they're not like they used to be at the beginning. Any quick thoughts there, Chelsea?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know exactly without knowing all the details. That's, again, why we're so excited. If you feel called to this, we can really dive deep, like what's happening, ask you more questions. But typically what happens, what we've been talking about earlier, is we tend to slip into our old patterns of maybe mothering, AKA the masculine energy. Sometimes we don't have enough time apart from our partners, and then our polarity starts to neutralize. There needs to be strong feminine masculine polarity for there to be chemistry, intrigue, mystery, like attraction, not just, we don't just want friendship and stability, right? We want like that companionship, friendship energy with the sexiness, right? With the attraction. Otherwise you just have a really awesome roommate, lifelong roommate. So that's, again, without knowing all the details, I would just have you be curious about, how am I really in my feminine energy, right? And do we have enough time apart where he's in his masculine, like fueling his masculine, you're fueling your feminine, so that when you come together, you're in this fullness of the polarity and sexy tension.
So good. Yes, I love it. Are you okay? Everything you said was so right on. I totally just ditto on all of that. It's so good. Do you have time to take a couple more? I see some great ones. I thought this one was interesting from Julie. Is there a way to be high quality feminine energy space with a man who's skeptical, never done long distance, without sounding like you're trying to convince them? I mean, this could apply to anything. Dealing with a man who's maybe has relationship trauma in his past, isn't really ready to jump into something, or he's skeptical. What are your thoughts? I'm really curious, Chelsea.
Yeah, right off the bat, I mean, if a man is skeptical, so we really get to hold this vision again, going like visualizing what it's like to be in the relationship you want every single day is going to make this easier. But like the true masculine energy, true empowered masculine energy is certain, he is confident, he's available. Like there isn't hesitance in his ability to commit. So if you're like, just as a rule of thumb, and for women who haven't experienced that kind of high level masculine energy yet, it's hard to know. Like, so you have nothing to compare this guy to. But I always love to paint the picture of what a truly masculine energy man feels like. There's no doubt in his mind. Like he's clear. He knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. So if a man, and I also think that men are pretty honest in general. So if he's like overtly telling you that he's skeptical, you get to step into your queen energy or the high value woman energy and decide if that feels good for you to be with or not. And I would say like raise your standards and move on. Again, without knowing any details.
Yeah. I totally agree. So many questions just popped up. Everything got all mixed up over here. So I'm just trying to keep it straight. But yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, I think everything you said is perfect. Yeah. The right guy. I mean, is that something you want? Plus, are you trying to convince him? If you are trying to convince him on a deep level, he's going to feel that no matter what you do or say. So you just want to like you said, hold this high standard for yourself. And it's not like, what can I do to try and like, let him know it's going to be okay. It's like, what can he do to show me that he's worthy of my heart? Right. Just want to like flip that around a little bit.
Did I freeze? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It froze for a second.
I was just going to say really quick that like my husband and I had a long distance relationship. If you guys didn't see that video, that's a fun one. And I love to reflect on that, on our story, because I learned so much about what the true masculine energy is like through witnessing how he showed up for me, because like he, crossed an ocean, left his country, like he moved across an ocean, right? And he did all these things to be with me, because that's the masculine energy will do that, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys are all worthy of someone who is willing to do whatever it takes to be with you. And the masculine energy is capable of that, doesn't need your help or convincing. So I just love to plug that, because everyone needs that reminder.
Yes, that's so true. So the man doesn't say anything, goes quiet when you express your needs, then acts more caring and gets closer to you. It's all about, it's not about what if, let's analyze this guy and what does this mean? How does this feel to you? Get into how, so he's acting more caring, he's getting closer. Does that feel good to you? Or do you actually need those words? And if you do, then you express that to him, right?
Yeah, and in level 2 magnetic mastery, we give you like a little script on how to express, like how to have those difficult conversations and stuff with men. So anyways, I just wanted to add that again, like this is such a common question that we get, is how to have those conversations, how to respond, and moving through fear around expressing yourself, and just having, a lot of women just don't have the tools for how to do that. And so we're so excited, if you feel called, to support you with being able to express yourself confidently.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, great question. A guy says, I miss you, I want to hold you. He's not showing up consistently. Watch the replay of this. I believe in number 2, we said, watch his actions, not his words. His words are meaningless if they're not being backed up by actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I feel like a student, online dating. What do you think? I think if you have a desire for a great relationship and to have love in your life again, not only is it a guarantee to you, you're totally worthy of it. It's on its way to you, as long as you don't hold yourself apart from it, is my quick answer.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Yeah. How about a boyfriend who says he won't be ready to get engaged for a long time? Believe him. Absolutely believe him. If you're okay with that, then great. If you guys are on the same page and maybe you're younger, in your 20s or something, great. No problem. So get in touch with how it feels to you. If that's not okay with you, then obviously you have to make some decisions. But he's being honest with you, right? So you want to believe him.
Believe them and their actions, right? Believe them and have their actions back there.
Yeah. Great question about, this is what we were talking about before. How long should I wait to answer? How was your day? This is that mentality of how long do I wait? How long do I hold myself back? Because maybe he made you wait. Totally wrong mentality, right, Chelsea? Just respond to him. Just respond. He texts you, you text him back. You don't need to wait 3 hours. You don't need to pretend like you're busy, right? Just respond.
Yeah, no playing games. It's just be in your feminine energy, and you know, we're here to describe what that feminine magnetic energy is to you to the best of our abilities, so you know if you're coming from it or not, you know.
Yes. We're almost out of time. I'll just take a couple more quick ones. Victoria, if he keeps canceling dates, that's number 2. Yeah. You deserve so much better than that, right? So much better than that. My boyfriend broke up with me 3 months ago. He still messages me and checks in on me. I just need to know what to say when he randomly texts. If it doesn't feel good to be in contact, say it feels too difficult for me to, be friends with you right now. I'm going to need some time to get over you, if that's what you want, right? It feels too difficult to keep engaging with you if we're not going to be in a relationship, something like that, right?
Boundaries, just loving boundaries.
Okay. If we missed your questions, maybe type them into the comment section, or better yet, join the course.
And someone asked, how do we find the info for Magnetic Mentorship Circle? So do you want to describe that again?
See, I'm not. These are popping in so fast that I can't even see all of them anymore. So go ahead and describe that while I look for that.
So I'm not as familiar with this, but I think you said you get out of the live chat, and then under the description of this video, you'll see the link. Is that right, Helena?
Yes. Yeah. Click the title. Click the title of this video. If you're watching live, you're gonna have to close the live chat. Click the title of the video. It'll open up the description, and it's the first
like a little arrow on the right side. I think that opens up the description.
There's click the arrow next to the title. But I think if you just click the title of the video now, it opens up, and it's the first link. If you have questions, let us know in the comments. We can just include a link there too. Right?
Yeah. Do you want me to do that real quick? Am I able to comment?
I tried. We have to wait till it's over, and then we can comment.
Okay, this will be over in a couple minutes too. So we'll put it in the comments for you. And if not, I'll just read the actual URL really quick to you guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Perfect.
Let me see exactly what it is. It's okay, so it's chelsearoses.com/magnetic-mentorship-circle.
Yeah.
So I know that's a little bit long, but you guys will find it. And if not, you have her email address, you have my email address. Like, we will get you in. Just email us.
Yeah. Email. Go to my website, helenahartcoaching.com. My email address is right there. Very transparent. Like I mentioned, if there's anyone emailing you from a different address saying they're me, it's not me. I like to get everything super transparent. We'll get back to you if you have questions about the course. So just contact us, and I'll include a link in the comments. I'll pin it to the top too. Okay, we're coming up to the end of the hour. The questions got so crazy at the end. I don't think I'm even seeing all of them. So if we missed your question, maybe put it in the comments down below after this post.
And save it for the Magnetic Mentorship Circle.
Definitely join the Mentorship Circle. We would love to work
starting really soon. Yeah, the group calls are starting really soon. So we'll be able to start working with you really in the very near future.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, there we go. Now I'm able to do this. And again, the only way to work with me personally, I don't do any private coaching at all other than working with these women. And again, it's going to fill up quick, but if you're still able to join, that means there's still spaces for you. So definitely join. Anything else you want to say before we close out, Chelsea?
Yeah, just that I know we said this earlier, but we have an early bird special price for you guys.
Oh, yes.
It's only going to be available for a very short period of time. And this is, in both of our opinions, like such an accessible price point to work with us directly. And we're so excited to offer you that. And once you join at that price, you'll be able to secure that price forever. So you'll have access to that price point. When we raise the price for new people, you'll be able to keep that price.
Yes, so, I forgot to mention that founding members price. Yeah, and about 1/10, 1/20th of what it would cost to work privately, right? I mean, we don't even offer private coaching anymore. So get in at the founders price. The price will never go up for you if you do that. Yeah. So definitely,
and it'll never be this low again.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, and we're super excited. Yeah, anything else, Chelsea?
Yeah, just that last reminder that when you join within 24 hours, you get access to Helena's amazing ebook. I think it's the 7 steps to attracting your ideal man. Yeah, it's awesome. I read through it and I was like, oh my God, this is gold. So you get instant access to that book when you join within 24 hours. So we like to reward you guys for taking fast action.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that that's everything. Thank you so much for having me. I love being here with you guys.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, and that ebook that you'll get if you join today is not available on my website. You can't get it anywhere else. So yes, please join. Thank you so much for the 222 people watching live. Don't forget to like the video.
That's my lucky number.
I know. That's why I wanted to mention that. Leave us a comment down below if you're watching the replay. Let us know what you think about this. And we will talk to you again very soon, hopefully in the Magnetic Mentorship Circle. Chelsea, thank you so much. This is amazing.
Thank you. Bye,
okay.
guys.
Bye, everybody. We love you.